Wilson into right center field, hit it Todd. This baby is way back. Out of here.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. This is Eric, and today, well, we got some news regarding the San Francisco Giants. The transaction freeze in Major League Baseball was lifted yesterday, and the Giants released 3 players. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about some of the updates regarding the season and everything else that is to be expected since the announcement a couple of days ago that we're supposed to be having baseball soon. But before getting into those details, Tyson Ross, Nick Vincent, and outfielder Jamie Westbrook were all released and are now free agents. So that is unfortunate for them. They were all in big league camp as non-roster invitees. They would have likely started the season with the Sacramento Rivercats, but unfortunately, there is no Sacramento Rivercats right now, at least not out on the field. So, unfortunately, there is no minor league team for them to go to, and they decided it's best just to go ahead and give them their release, give them a chance maybe to sign on somewhere else. So, those 3 guys are gone. And Nick Vincent was with the Giants last season in spring training, made the team out of spring training, ends up getting released back with the Giants in spring training this year. I thought he had a good chance to make the team. He used to be a really good arm with the Padres. I mean, the guy is a good pitcher, a good reliever, but unfortunately,
he is gone.
Tyson Ross was going to be a nice option here to start a few games here and there, and he was going to have some depth, provide some depth for some long-term relief and things like that. Probably was going to be a nice option in AAA, see how he did down there. So I really liked that signing. I didn't think he was going to be, some big deal or anything, but for depth and for someone to come in there when there's injuries and things like that, Tyson Ross, former Detroit Tiger, but no. And then lastly was Jamie Westbrook, who I've seen play in the minors multiple times. He's been around for a while. He's only 25, but Jamie Westbrook, I just hear his name all the time. So, an option for some depth in the outfield, but he is gone. Giants have a ton of outfielders. There is one guy who is out there who is available, who is definitely a star name, and we know who that is. Mr. Puig is still out there. So if the Giants were going to have another outfielder, that might be someone they're targeting and thinking about, and I'm going to make a video on that after this one. So that's the only transaction that has been made so far. In fact, there's not a whole ton of transactions going on in Major League Baseball. A few teams are releasing people, but that's about it. I think that there's a lot of fear regarding this whole situation. It's very uncertain, and even though the season has been announced and we're all excited and everything's looking good for baseball, there is still that chance because, a lot of people are coming at me, man, I'm so glad you were wrong. And I'm like, well, I hope I was wrong. Until we see baseball on TV and they're actually playing, no one's been proven right or wrong yet. We don't know if it's going to happen. We have a date and everything is in place, so I'm absolutely hoping that I was completely wrong when I predicted there would be no baseball. But we're not 100% on that yet, unfortunately. And Andy Martino provided some insight into what the agreement between the league and the union says on the matter of the pandemic that could possibly prompt a premature end to the season. We don't want to see that, but it is something to keep in mind, and there are 3 conditions that could lead to it. Number 1, if restrictions on travel throughout the country are imposed, and if that hasn't happened yet, officially, well, I don't know if that will happen, so we might be okay there. Number 2, if the season poses an unreasonable health and safety risk to players or staff to stage those games. Well, I guess they're determining that it's not unreasonable because we're going forward, baby, with baseball. So, yeah, I guess if a whole bunch of people start getting it, there's no doubt we already know that could be a major problem. And number 3, if the competitive integrity of the season is compromised by the number of players who are available. Again, I think that most players will show up. There may be a few who don't. At first, I was worried that a whole bunch of players and stars wouldn't show up, be like, screw this, we're not playing. But it looks like most of them are going to say, okay, let's go out there. They said when and where. They're told when and where, and they're going to be there. So there probably are going to be a few, especially if they have some risk factors as far as their health goes, or their family members have some risk factors. They don't want to get out there and take that risk. It's understandable. But other than that, I think the vast majority of players are going to be out there. The article says also that, of course, it can and should be argued that the season poses an unreasonable health and safety risk to players and staff at present, but that MLB appears inclined to carry on regardless of the potential short and long-term health risks. And as for the third point, Martino notes there is no set number of positive tests that would trigger the season's cancellations. Indeed, he reports that a team being forced to cancel games due to an outbreak would not automatically mean an end to the season itself. So it looks like they have smartly taken a few steps and measures to say, hey, we're not just going to cancel everything as soon as someone gets it. And that's good because someone is going to get it. And I was under the impression, and I think I've even said here on the channel, if one guy gets it, it's over. That's just what it felt like. That's how every sport was doing it and everything was doing it. Like someone gets it, oh my God, it's over. And they cut it down. They shut everything down. So I assumed that's how they were going to do it, in which case I did not see how they could possibly have a season, which was part of why I said there's no way they're having a season. But if they're going to change the attitude on that and say, look, we have a bunch of measures in place, and if somebody does come down with it, doesn't mean it's all over. Well, maybe you can get through a season then. But a big thing about it is these players. This is a free country, obviously. You can do whatever you want. But having said that, just to let these players go out and party and do what they want to do all the time. You know, some of them are going to be crazy. They're not going to wear masks. They're not going to take measures. They're going to go out there like crazy. And, you know, if you don't want to wear your mask, don't wear your mask. But if you're a Major League Baseball player, all of a sudden, if you don't wear your mask and you get this thing, everything might shut down. You might be responsible for shutting down baseball if you spread this thing to a couple of your teammates and they spread it to a couple of their teammates and they spread it to a couple of guys on the other team, and all of a sudden it could shut down baseball. So these players can't be out there just partying and just doing whatever. They need to take full measures, including wearing a mask, I would think. Okay? Again, I'm not saying you shouldn't wear a mask when you go out there. You should, but I'm just saying I'm not the type of person to tell everybody else what to do. You do whatever you want. But a Major League Baseball player in this type of season, they better be very careful, and they better be told to be very careful. This thing is obviously real, and it's out there because we already have Charlie Blackmon who's gotten, a bunch of Phillies got it, a bunch of Blue Jays got it. These outbreaks are happening with teams, and we haven't even kicked off spring training 2.0. So it's very worrisome. There are things that could stop the season, but let's hope that these players are smart enough to stay away from people when they're off work. Go back to the hotel, do your workout, stay around people you know are tested. Unfortunately, they're going to have to basically be quarantined. I know it's a free country, and some people are going to say, no, they can do whatever they want. They can go out if they want. Sure, go ahead. There ain't going to be no baseball, though, so keep that in mind. Because if all these players are just going out and doing whatever they want, yeah, I don't see the season finishing up, so they need to be very, very careful. You guys have a great day. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. I really do appreciate it. That's where we're at right now. Baseball is happening, but it's very, very fragile. Like, you know, it can go wrong very easily, so let's just hope for the best and hope we get through this 60-game season in playoffs. I'm hoping it happens. And also, the Giants released 3 players. Too bad. I feel bad for them. I was excited about seeing them, but they are gone, and there's no Rivercats. There's no minor leagues for them to go to, so that's just the case. You guys have a great day. Stay tuned for the Yasiel Puig video. Talk to you next time. See ya!
When the Giants come to town, it's bye-bye, baby. Every time the chips are down, it's bye-bye, baby. History's in the making at Oracle Park.